Good morning, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube today. I'm Suzanne Taylor King, and we are here for the Prosperous and Productive Entrepreneur Coffee Chat. Every week, I come to you live on Friday mornings with another amazing member of my Idea Lab community. And today we're here chatting with Carolyn Choate. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about you, Carolyn.
Okay. I am Carolyn Choate, as you just said, and I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I moved here about 13 years ago, grew up in Massachusetts, and I've lived in 5 different states, but I'm very settled here. I have 2 children, and I never expected to become an entrepreneur.
Well, I love that. I love the fact that, the unexpected entrepreneur, it's definitely where I started my journey at 24 years old. I had no idea what I was stepping into. So, welcome. I'm looking forward to our conversation today. But first, show me your mug. Oh, awesome. I have peace, love, and yoga this morning. Somebody gave me 2 of these beautiful mugs a couple of years ago, and I absolutely love the color because it matches my brand colors, which is kind of cool.
I
All
have
right.
a nicer mug. I think it's in the dishwasher.
I love it. I love it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about, and of course, if you are tuning in live, ask any questions that you might have either about the Idea Lab community, about entrepreneurship, and about what we're going to talk about, what Carolyn does. And she's got a really unique take on automations and funnels for people who have written books. And as I was driving home from Starbucks this morning, thinking about this conversation, I just thought of 2 incredible people to introduce you to, and I'm going to call them out on this video. Tammy Polk, she's an amazing self-publishing expert. She's written over 60 books herself and helps other women do the same. So she'd be a perfect person to connect with. And the other person is somebody who actually has a publishing house for books that are ghost written, Cindy Childress, and she also helps people write their books with a signature process that I absolutely love. So I'm going to connect the 2 of you, and I'm going to tag them in this video so they get to meet you
Cool.
live.
Oh, I love that.
Um, I love when that happens when I'm driving too, and I don't have a piece of paper and I actually remember, later. So that was really good. That makes
Segue.
me more productive. So that's the first place we're going to go. What makes you as an entrepreneur productive?
Great question. I love that feeling of being productive, and I
Mm,
think probably a lot of people can relate to that, if you take a day easy, it's like, I don't feel like I got enough accomplished. I like to push and do things, and
mhm.
so I always want to do something in my day that makes me feel productive, even on rest days, just something, because otherwise I go to sleep feeling like I wasted the day.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of being productive in my business, doing something that I love has made all of the difference.
Oh, yeah.
I really thought, I used to hate work. I always thought I'm not ambitious. I'm not a career person. I'm meant to be a stay at home mom. I'm never going to like this work thing. But finding work that I love doing means that if I wake up at 3 in the morning and I can't sleep, well, I go to my computer and I do some work. I love
Yeah,
it.
I love that.
So I'm like almost never trying to put it off.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't there's a saying, I think it was Napoleon Hill that says, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. It doesn't feel hard when you love what you do. Um,
Yeah.
do you happen to have a tool or anything tech wise that makes you feel more productive?
Oh, I love organizing things and making lists. So I do use Trello quite a bit. I've
Oh, I
tried
love
some other of
Trello.
those types of programs, but I keep falling back to Trello because it's really simple and
Mhm,
straightforward, easy to use. And like when I do VIP days with people, I have a checklist Google Doc and like
mhm.
it says when our meeting times are and what the work I'm doing is so that we can like check it off, check it off, check it off.
Oh, something so gratifying and productive about checking off boxes, isn't there? So I'm super techie and I love Trello. What I would love Trello to be able to do, and if it can do this and you could teach me, this would be even more amazing. If it could take all the people that currently opt into my website and my offers and fill out applications, make discovery calls, all those different avenues of people coming to me, I have right now dropping onto an Excel spreadsheet just as an extra measure. So they're in my CRM, they're getting emails, but I also have that person in
Good
an
to have a
Excel
backup.
spreadsheet just as a backup.
Yeah.
I would love them to drop into Trello as a little square. Can
I
it do
think
that?
I think that could be done.
Mm.
Um, there's a lot of different additional plugins you can get for Trello.
Mhm.
So I would probably start by exploring those. And then if there's nothing there that looks right, looking at Zapier, because
Mm. Yeah, I
Zapier
have that.
is, yeah, for connecting websites that don't normally communicate. So
All right.
very helpful. But I
Yeah,
think
because
there's
there's
probably
something
a plugin that would do that.
there's something magical about a tool that you're used to. Like my funnel software is a little more complicated than traditional funnel software because it's meant for agencies. But
Which one is
once
it? Is it
go high level.
Oh, okay. I used to use Go High Level.
But once I figured it out, right? Once the learning curve is longer, but once you're done with the learning curve, so much more is possible. So that's what makes me feel productive. And I love that you're tech savvy. So that's really cool. Now, prosperity and being prosperous to me has a whole different meaning. And it really means how are you looking at your business in the future? How are you moving forward to your goals with hope and zest and all of those financial goals that we set for ourselves? What makes you feel the most prosperous in your business?
Hmm.
What pulls you forward to that future vision?
I feel a lot of certainty about the potential of my future,
Mm,
especially comparing to where I've been before in jobs where I did not have any possibility of upward mobility. Um, my degree is in creative writing, and I always felt like I don't have many credentials, I don't have much to offer, and maybe that's just a mindset problem. But I always ended up just doing entry level jobs and
mm,
hating them and quitting in a year because it felt like my soul was being sucked dry. So when I think about the business that I've created, I'm not reaching my financial goals yet, but I know that there's no limit, that
mm.
I'm building an engine right now that will build up steam and will eventually be supporting me, supporting my whole family. And I know that it will get there.
Yeah.
And there's been some financial pressures on us. And for a moment, a few months ago, I had this total panic like, oh God, I've got to quit and go find a real job. And I went and looked at the job sites and I said, even on my worst months in my business, I make more than I've ever made.
Yes.
If I quit and go to be a secretary somewhere, I am not going to um, make that much. Not
Yeah.
to say anything bad about secretary, but it's just like my qualifications and what I'm capable of doing is not really that impressive in that field.
Yeah.
So that gives me a lot of motivation to keep on going because there's really no other direction to go.
Yeah. And I think being pulled forward by that instead of, um, I notice a lot of entrepreneurs, they get stuck if they have a bad month or 2 months or 3 months, and they feel like a panic about money or about, um, oh, I didn't achieve what I was supposed to last month, and they're stuck in that
Yeah, that
past
panic
view.
really hurts you.
Yeah, it
It's
really
hard
does.
to get out of.
And I think when you allow yourself to consider the possibilities and run the numbers, I have a mastermind group that's $497 a month. And I remember when I was deciding on what that was going to look like and who I wanted in there, I just said to myself, 10 people at 497 a month for a year. Well, that is amazing.
Mhm.
And not to worry if I only get one person this week and one person next week and one person next month, that the cumulative momentum that you pick up in your business, as long as you stay in that hopeful, prosperous mindset. So I
I've been
love that.
doing so much work on my money mindset.
Mhm.
Because I also have a podcast, I interviewed a hypnotherapist and she gave me a free session, which
Amazing.
then she sent me a recording to listen to every day. So I've
Uh-huh.
been falling asleep listening to this mindset hypnosis about money. And then I joined a money mindset monthly program from another woman that I interviewed. When she told me about her program, I was like, okay, I have to make that happen. So,
Mhm.
like, that's been a big focus for me is expanding my mind about what's possible,
Yeah.
because it comes as a great shock when you start in entrepreneurship that your mind has so much power.
Mhm.
You think it's all about the right strategy, and it's absolutely stunning to see how much of an effect your
Yeah.
mindset really has on that. So, like, getting the money mindset right has been so important.
Mhm.
And, oh, there was something else I was gonna say about those cumulative steps, but I forget what it was.
Well, I mean, if we take away have our listeners today take away the fact that any strategy, any tool that makes you productive is wonderful, but if you don't have that prosperous mindset, if your subconscious or that that judgmental voice in your head is constantly criticizing you or demanding of you or belittling your accomplishments, you're never going to get to that prosperous mindset. You're never going to be able to move forward with hope. And one of the things that I noticed when I used to help people with their fitness and nutrition, basically weight loss, right?
Mhm.
90% of the work we did was on their mindset around food and exercise and taking care of themselves. It had nothing to do with the meal plan on paper that I handed them.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, you have to follow it, yes, but the reason you follow it is because of what's up here. And entrepreneurship is exactly the same. I knew this was going to be juicy today with
Yeah,
you.
that makes a
I
lot of
love it.
sense.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about how you help your clients and how our listeners can get in touch with you.
Sure. I absolutely love sales funnels, and when I say that, I get funny looks because
I was going to say, said no one ever.
right? Like, "No, seriously, I really do." We associate the word sales funnel with something that's very pushy and aggressive and tricksy and manipulative. And I just watched Jarvis on YouTube had a video where he's like walking through this horrible funnel that is like teaching people how to pick up women, and it's the worst. It is all of the worst things that everyone hates about funnels:
Uh-huh.
false scarcity and inflated value numbers and keeping you on the hook in this loop and all these
Well,
other
how about the
bad
timer?
stuff.
That's the one I love. The timer means nothing, but you only have 30 seconds left to purchase.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? If your product is, I mean, there's something to be said for making people like you got to make a decision because otherwise you'll put it off forever. But on the
Mhm.
other hand, like if you have to force your leads to make a decision really fast without giving them time to think through, then your product is shit. Sorry.
Typically.
You do not need to do that. So anyway, the point is I don't do funnels like that. I hate funnels like that. But to me, a funnel is a really beautiful way of supporting your audience and your
Mhm.
leads as they come into your world. It's like laying out a cobblestone path that
Yeah.
guides them to your doorstep, and nobody feels like they've just been dropped. Nobody falls through the cracks because you forgot to manually send out whatever email.
Mhm.
It makes the system really smooth and clear. It helps your prospects to always know what the next step to take is, and the next step, and the next step. It educates them on what you do. So when you make an offer, they are ready and prepared to know if that's the right fit for them or not.
Yeah.
And it's good for you because it frees up your time and energy to be able to dedicate it to your zone of genius and to your clients. So that is what I love about automations. I build all kinds of funnels, but I've recently really delved into doing these book funnels because my friend at Brave Healer Productions, Laura DeFranco, came to
Mhm.
me and said, you know what? My authors have no idea what to do with their books after the launch
Mhm.
is over. And I have a degree in creative writing. I used to do publishing of fiction books. So it made this light bulb go off. I was like, that's true. Nobody ever thinks about what happens after the launch. When you're going
Yeah.
to publish a book, you get so excited about, yes, launch day, so exciting. We're going to get this
Mhm.
Amazon bestseller status. And then it just
Yeah.
does stuff for me. So
It doesn't.
it
It doesn't.
doesn't.
You
It
know,
doesn't.
I think I've had 7 or 8, clients within the last couple of years that have written books. Um, Many might listen to this recording, and using your book as a continual promotion for your business, like a more nurturing business card,
Mhm.
um,
I call
using
it a
it as
brand
a
ambassador.
yeah, it's really such um, a bonus for your clients and or prospective clients, network connections, and I have a collaborative book coming out, put out by Living Healthy List that's coming out in December, right before the holidays.
Ooh.
And we'll be creating a book funnel for after that book comes out. There's 15 authors that are collaborating on that book about mindset and health and well-being, how your mindset affects different areas of health and well-being. Super excited for that. I'm going to tag Denise in the comments of this live so she gets to hear about, promoting your book after the fact. So I think that'll be fun to work with her on that project.
Yeah. So what I like to do
Um,
is to take like the first chapter or a
mhm,
teaser section and use that as your lead magnet, your freebie, your giveaway that people pay for with an email address and permission
mm,
to contact them. So you're trading that value for bringing them into your world, being able to nurture them, and setting up an email sequence that shows them more about your work and
yeah,
your mission and what you believe in, so that it ends with, and here's how you can work with me. And they have already bought into who you are and what you do through the book and through the email sequence. And also, like, if you don't have a funnel on your website, you're losing so many people,
mhm,
because if somebody is interested enough in what you do to come to your website, 90% of the time, I'm making up that number, they aren't going to be ready to
mm,
purchase something right away.
that's true.
So they disappear and you never see them again. If you have a freebie, that's like that stepping stone that
Mhm,
allows them an entry point that doesn't cost anything other than their email address to start to get to know you. And then you
yeah.
don't lose them.
Yeah, something I did, on my mastermind page that advertises my mastermind group, I put a guest pass.
Hmm.
So you're not getting a freebie, you're getting a guest pass to come to one of the meetings for free, and it's all automated. So, you fill that out and you get an email from me that tells you when the meetings are. and here's the Zoom link to attend. And please, if you let me know when you're coming, and I would love this information from you before you attend. And in the last year, I've had almost 70 people fill
Ooh.
out that guest pass. And out of the 70, I'd say maybe 20 have actually attended, but the other ones have all reached out on LinkedIn or Facebook and followed me and are absorbing my content. But now they're on my email list and they're
Mhm.
getting those monthly newsletters from me, not only about my community, but about what I offer. And so it's building up that know, like, and trust factor,
Mhm.
which I
It
love.
takes time. That's another thing that funnel builders are not honest about. You see it in marketing all the time,
Yeah.
like, you're gonna put up this funnel and instantly $500,000 tomorrow, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, it's
no.
gonna be so perfect and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But, like, people take time to warm up. You don't know when they're gonna be ready, and if you continue to nurture them, then when they are ready, you'll be there for them.
Yeah.
And it can be years that someone's on your email list, and then suddenly one day they feel ready. And
Mhm.
so the more people you can bring into that top of the funnel, the more stability you have in your business, because there's going to be people who are being ready at all different times.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love to play board games.
Mhm.
So if anyone is familiar with modern board games, there's a mechanic called engine building, where you start setting up, usually it's cards that have relationships with each other.
Mhm.
So once you get enough cards out set up correctly, then you have this incredible machine that is just churning victory points.
Yeah.
It takes several turns to build that up, because you've got to get the
Mhm.
right cards, you got to have time to play the card, you got to play the right card in the right time.
Mhm.
So you spend the first few turns feeling like not much is happening. And then turn 5, all of a sudden it's working, it's running. And that's
Yeah.
exactly how a sales funnel is.
I think so too. I think that, there's tons of strategy for, speaking and networking and connecting, posting on social media. There's all these things you need to do, right, to build that engine. And part of that engine is your funnel. Actually, what are you pushing people towards? Are you pushing towards a call, a product, a download, but something that's getting them into
Mhm.
your world? And
Always know your goal.
yes, no, well, that's part of being prosperous, right? Is having those goals for the future and reverse engineering, so to speak, so that I if you show up somewhere, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's in front of a group or at a networking thing, you have something to offer people, whether it's a book or a funnel or an opt-in or a PDF or a session with you. So a lot of my coaches do free sessions with
Mhm.
people. Um, Whatever it is, you have a clear path, and I love that about what you do. It's so clear. The path is clear to work with Carolyn. She's got a great funnel in place. If you want a personal introduction to Carolyn, and you know me, reach out. She's one of the amazing members of the Idea Lab community for entrepreneurs. And I'm hoping she's going to be one of my experts. She's going to get that offer on Monday. Super excited. A little sneak peek out of the bag there. Um,
And I
and
should probably mention that I build these funnels in VIP days, because I'm good in really short dedicated bursts. So my my main thing that I do is building a book funnel that is functional in one day.
wow.
Yeah. And
Well,
you, as the
yeah.
client, are not on the hook for that whole day. We have a meeting, we set the idea, I go and work, we touch base again, I go and work, we touch base. So I take
Oh, talk
everything off your
about,
plate. I do the writing, the email sequence, I hook
oh,
up all the tech. So, like, yeah.
well, listen, if you didn't hear that, let's repeat. Imagine a funnel created in one day for your book, done with you. done for you. It's like this amazing combination of done with you, done for you. Carolyn, thank you so much for your unique genius and that unique value proposition that you bring to entrepreneurs and authors. I love it. I love you. I love having you in my world. And we're going to drop your website and your funnel in the comments of this video. And thank you for joining us on the Productive and Prosperous Coffee Chat.
Thank you. This was
You're
lots
so welcome.
of fun.